Welcome back to 1010's podcast. My name is Michael Beck with Adam Nielsen and Mr. Robbie Veerhout.
How's it going, man?
It's going good. You excited?
Oh, I couldn't be more excited.
You need to be more
Robbie
pumped.
apparently is more competitive than I thought he was, which was already really high because this has nothing to do with the competition. He thinks he's going to win.
What are you talking about?
The show.
I'm gonna win. I'm gonna win the show. This episode.
Did you know this was a competition, Michael?
I had no idea. Are you talking about the topic that?
Yes.
we
Yeah,
have for
he's
later?
jumping
Yes.
way.
I'm jumping
Okay.
way ahead, but I'm still really confused about what he thinks he's going to win.
Well, we'll get to what Robbie's going to win here in a minute. But before we do that, I don't want to confuse anybody by changing the format of the
don't do
show
that.
because people are used to how we proceed.
Nobody
normally.
likes
For 1
change.
week?
People are used to how we proceed with the show, and
Yeah.
at this point, this would be Adam's opener, if you know what I mean.
I know what you mean.
But Adam this week was not prepared to do an opener.
That's not entirely true. It's Robbie's fault that I wasn't prepared.
Story of my life.
Let's not blame Robbie for this because we might
Oh, no,
blame
I'm
Robbie for
blaming
some
Robbie.
things later
Oh,
when we get
okay.
to the topic.
Okay.
Let's stop being
That's fair.
vague because everybody's turning off their iTunes and flipping over to Slip Angle. So, but for Adam's opener, if you know what I mean, I've got one this week, which is I discovered that the FJ Cruiser has 3 windshield wipers.
Oh, God, he was so mad about it.
Why are you
It was
mad about that?
hilarious.
So Josh Fettis came into town and we failed to record yet another episode with Josh Fettis.
That's the third time second time we've tried to record an episode
And it's not
failed.
worked. But then it was raining all weekend, which is why the autocross at Iowa Speedway got canceled, which was a bummer. And
A
hopefully
bunch of people were really oddly mad about that.
Non-members were like talking shit to all these other people, saying like that they didn't get an email notification. All I wanted to say was, "Look out your window."
It's 37 degrees and raining. What
It
makes
was-
you think that that's a good idea?
it was not good. And the way that track's designed, it doesn't like
they didn't do a very
drain.
good job of like tiling underneath that.
It doesn't drain very well. Even that day that I was there doing the track day, there was water coming across the track, and it was a sunny day. So I'm not really sure what's going on there.
Do you remember the day that we did the
Flags.
flagging? That infield, which is they were coming off the infield where my
Yeah.
flag station was. There was water running out of the cement there, and it hadn't rained in like 24 hours.
Is that coming right off the banking?
Yeah, because I think it all comes off the banking and just pools up. And I don't think they did a very good job of drainage before they poured like the infield area.
Yeah.
And so then it just
I'm surprised they haven't done anything
fills
with that
up with water. And
in the off season, because when I was there, that was like 2014 or something, 2013. They still haven't done anything with it.
I don't know that without tearing it all out, there's much they can do about it.
Well, that's what I mean. Tear out that section at least and put a tile in it so that it would at least because it's right as you come off. I don't know if that's turn 3. I'm not sure which turn that is. You come off and get back onto the infield.
So you get off of the oval
Yeah.
at the entrance to turn 3.
Yep.
And you
I think
get
it's
back
3.
on it at the entrance to oval turn 4. Or the exit.
Yeah, that
sorry.
sounds right. So at turn 3, as you come off onto the infield, there's just a trickle of water that just continuously comes across the
Constant
infield.
stream.
Yeah, and that day I was there, it was perfectly sunny. No rain at all. And they even said in the driver's meeting, like, hey, there's a spot that's going to be wet. It's just always going to
It's
be
in
wet.
your braking zone. It's not a big
Yeah,
deal.
it's when you're slowing down from 115 miles an hour. That part of it's wet,
It's
and you're
really
also
not that big
you're
a deal,
slightly
though.
turning left,
So-
and you're going over a bump, and yeah,
Just be mindful of it, but it's really not a
and
big
you're chasing a Corvette and trying to push him into the weeds, and so they just be aware that this is wet right here.
Yep. I just thought it was funny that the guy that complained the loudest his argument was roads are cupped in a way that the water wicks away.
What?
No, I'm dead serious. His argument was if roads are set up so that the water wicks away to the gutters, surely the racetrack infield will do the same, and we'll
Actually,
be fine.
it's exactly the opposite.
I'm aware. I didn't want to get into an internet argument with him.
It's in the center of a giant bowl. Can you imagine how much water that area catches?
Has to get rid of.
That's where it all goes, right where you're racing.
Yeah.
And in this case, we were specifically right there because we weren't really using the bowl other than for some taxi.
So normally we're pretty hard on, or we're very critical of DMVR's choices, but this time
They were right.
They were right.
I didn't want to race in the cold and rain again.
And I don't
anyway.
think enough people would have showed up to pay for that venue.
No.
And at that point, it's the right decision to shut it down.
Yeah, that event should be, I mean, as best as you can plan it, it should be like your flagship event. It should be a big deal. Lots of people, lots of fanfare and pictures and having fun and all that stuff because it's a cool. I mean, how often do you get to actually have an autocross at like a racetrack? You know, it doesn't happen very
Wholeheartedly
often.
agree.
At least here, anyway, we don't get to. You know, for most people, it's in a parking lot. Other than what's that track out in Cedar Rapids? Hawkeye Downs, which that's not like a big track or anything like that. But I mean, Iowa Speedway is kind of a big deal for us.
That one has to be the same every event, doesn't it? Because isn't there only like they had a tough time getting the SCCA's safety rules to be in compliance there, and so they just have like 1 or 2 configurations.
That might be true. I think the only times I've run it 3 times, it's always been the same. So
I think last year they had a new config, but
there is a point on that where you're on the infield and you could, if you fell asleep at the wheel, you could kind of like launch off the infield. Like there's a section where you could just shoot straight off and like fly.
I know that when I'm autocrossing, I'm often bored to the point where I have to fight from falling asleep at the wheel.
Well, I understand what you're saying. I'm with you on that. But that said, in like
there's not enough turning involved.
The first year I was autocrossing, a Lotus ran into a Jersey barrier.
I remember hearing that.
That was at the state fairgrounds, right?
Yeah, and that never should have happened. That guy had. We're not really sure what happened to him, if anything actually medically happened to him, but he did like have a moment where he didn't do anything other than accelerate, and he ran straight into a Jersey barrier at like
he was
70 miles an hour.
I'm in a Lotus, and he forgot that things were happening.
He forgot he was supposed to be driving.
Yeah.
It's autocross, you get a turn.
Yeah.
So weird shit happens. That's why there's rules.
So
Sometimes they're
tell me
excessive.
about this FJ Cruiser and why it's crazy.
Oh, he's probably
I just think that
back.
I don't like it. To start with, I don't like the
not?
FJ Cruiser because it's dumb. It's a toy off-roader.
It's a fake Jeep.
It's
it
a
looks
fake
like a
Jeep.
porta
It is
potty.
Awesome.
They all look
Awesome
like porta
fake
potties because they're
Not
blue
all
with
of
white
them.
tops.
They're not all blue with
They're
white
almost
tops.
all blue with white tops.
It
They
doesn't
are
really
not.
matter what color they are, top and bottom, because not all porta potties are white or
That's
blue
true.
with white tops.
I've seen the tan with black top porta potties actually.
Yeah,
So
there's
that
yellow and white tops.
Yep.
There's green and white tops.
You guys
there's
spend way
whatever.
too much time looking
I'm
at
a
porta potties.
construction
we're both in
worker.
construction.
It's
Okay, fine.
I pistoned 2 of them today.
Sorry we
And
don't
that's
have.
not a lot.
Sorry we don't have your soft keyboard office hands, Robbie.
These callus-covered hands from all the work I do. Anyways, tell me about your FJ Cruisers and
I
why.
just hate it. It's not a real off-roader. I don't
No.
like it.
The windshield wipers.
It's like
on focus.
It's
here.
like fake Humvee nonsense.
Why are there? Why
Why
did
do
it
you
need
need
to
3?
be 3?
Well, how wide is this vehicle?
Well, I think the issue is that the windshield is very wide and very short, and so they couldn't get 2 that actually covered the distance.
Yeah, but I think it's like fake Humvee bullshit. You know what I mean?
I
like,
didn't know that
it'd be-
those had 3
well,
either.
I'm not saying that they do for sure because I don't know, but it's like fake. It's like it's what the British people would call poncery. Like it's just nonsense.
I'm sure that if Robbie did his engineering thing
I'm
and
fairly certain-
applied some math, that it was probably necessary.
I think it's necessary based on what I'm looking at.
But I already hate buying 2 windshield wipers.
that was my other thing
And I'll
too.
bet you that they're like they're a weird size, so they're probably the only car that needs that windshield wiper,
probably-
and so they're probably really expensive.
Yeah, it's probably 316s or something.
It'd be one of those things too where they run a deal at AutoZone. If you buy 2 windshield wipers, you have to deal with that your entire life. Like, God, I need 3.
I need to buy 2, get 1 free.
So do I buy 4 or do I buy 3 or fuck? Like that's gonna be your life.
I don't know why you're so mad about it.
It's a dumb car. It started out as a dumb car, and then
It's
I saw
not
the
a
3
dumb
windshield
car.
wipers.
Every
It's a
time I
great
learn
car.
more about it, it gets dumber.
That's what I'm saying.
No, it's great. I love it. This has the most
You have-
cleared windshield out of any vehicle on the road. Everyone else is stuck with 2 and all these big open spaces that are not touched by their wiper, and this one covers it all.
You know what wiper thing I hate more than 3 wipers?
What's that?
Headlights.
Headlight wipers?
Yes.
That was like a 90s thing,
It's a
wasn't it?
Saab thing.
Yeah.
Or maybe
I've seen,
Volvo. I don't remember.
Volvo.
One of those
Volvo
2 did
does
it.
it.
I couldn't remember. I can't remember which, but
They're terrible.
it was weird. I don't really see the benefit.
Was that? Did they? I wonder if they had sprayers.
Yeah, some do.
Did they still have the sprayers?
My TT did. It was the craziest thing. It was fun to like show people because they would motorize out of the front bumper and then shoot windshield washer fluid on the windshield or on the light
Headlight.
and then pull back in. But
Why-
one of
why
mine
do
was
people-
screwed up, and so it would shoot somebody in the face if they were standing next to the car.
Did you-
Shocking. I'm shocked. I'm shocked that your vehicle did that.
Are you
It may have
talking?
been from the hit and run. That was
Your hit and run?
no, because remember that my
What are you admitting?
no, remember my front bumper was all screwed up because somebody must have like hit it in a parking lot or something.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
I keep thinking of the back bumper from the last time we got in an accident.
Oh, that was a deal.
Is that something we don't want to
We
share?
drove it in a snowstorm to
Oh,
go
man.
skating, and then we're trying to drive home, and we're at a stoplight, and this pickup just comes plowing
It was
into
a
us.
van.
It was a van?
Yeah.
Oh.
But his front end was already obliterated. And you just know, like, this guy's like, son of a bitch. I just hit an Audi with my van that's already been obliterated.
I am
like,
so screwed.
Shit.
I am
And
not going to have any insurance.
There
I
wasn't
got
any damage.
out, and, like, because I didn't have my foot on the brake because it's a clutch car and we're sitting at a stoplight. And so when he hit me, it just shoved me forward.
Yeah.
And so I got out and looked at the car and I was like, well, the car's fine. I'm fine. Robbie's fine. How are you okay? Yeah. All right. Shook his hand, got in my car and drove home.
See ya. I did that the first week Jess had her Edge. I slid it into another car at a stop sign. And then
You ran into a car?
Yeah, we were driving. I was
Robbie.
driving home from Hy-Vee, and this car I thought was for sure going to turn because they had all the time in the world, and then they didn't. So I'm like, well, fuck, and just slid right into him. I mean, obviously at 80 mile an hour, so it wasn't anything, but of course, that's why I can't have nice new things.
Is it scuffed now? Did you feel bad?
No, there's no scuffs. It's
Oh,
fine.
okay. It's all good then.
I just thought of an opener.
If you know what I mean. Yeah. Oh, he's getting into it. Sure.
I got to use a plasma cutter. It's been 2 weeks ago now.
Oh, shit.
But I got to use a plasma cutter for the first time in my life. Have either of you ever used a plasma cutter?
Yes.
It's been a long time ago.
Oh my God.
Did you cut everything you could find?
I wanted to. Dad's lucky he even had a Firebird left to work on that I just didn't hack it all apart.
This panel looks rusty. Gone.
Dude, it's so easy.
It is.
so much better than the Death Wheel.
It's crazy. I couldn't believe how fast it was.
Did he just get one?
Yeah, he's had it for like, I don't know, maybe a year. Not a ton of
You
time.
just haven't used it yet?
I'm usually when I'm home for a weekend, we don't have time to like, sit down and work on cars together.
Cut things in half?
Yeah, we're busy. He's got a whole laundry list of things he needs to go and get. Usually we have to go pick up a car that he has bought or a part that he has bought or deliver a car that he has sold or something like that. And so we don't have time to just sit in the shop and cut things.
Cut things in half?
What were you cutting?
Some panels to fill some rusty gaps in his frame rails.
Oh, that's a little bit of work.
It's cool though. I can't believe how easy and quick it is. It's crazy.
They're awesome.
I don't know how anybody functions without a plasma cutter now.
We should cut things with plasma cutters.
Can
We
you cut?
should cut something in half with a plasma cutter.
I asked him this and he couldn't answer. Do you guys know? Can you cut aluminum with a plasma cutter?
Robbie, you're the materials person.
I've never done it. Sure.
Like, I don't know if it works.
Sure. I don't. Why not?
Somebody should tell us online if you can cut aluminum with a plasma cutter.
Yeah, it's
don't
like
own
can you cut
anything-
any?
I don't own anything
Any
fancy
sort of
enough
metal
that
with it?
has aluminum in it.
I think so.
To try to cut it.
It looks like you can.
Are you Google fooing it?
Yeah.
right now?
No one says you can't.
Aluminum's so malleable. You can cut it pretty easily with
Yeah.
whatever. So you probably don't ever think about
The first
if you would need to cut it.
The
with,
first article I found on thefabricator.com is "Don't rule out plasma for cutting aluminum."
all right, so I guess you can.
There you go.
All right.
Fair enough.
It must not be super easy though. I'm sure it just melts.
I wonder if it's
I'm
too-
sure
it's
it melts
too
like
hot.
It melts like butter. I bet.
Yeah, it's probably too hot. That's a good point. Unless it's thick. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If you know what I mean.
Is that the end of your opener?
That's
You know
all I
what
really
mean?
got.
Okay.
I mean, I was kind of hoping that one of you had not plasma cutted, so I could just like tell you how amazing it was. But apparently, I'm the one who's late to the game.
I
This
think
time.
I did it. I think the last time I did it was at Good Guys actually.
When I was interning at Bobcat, we were plasma cutting a bunch of stuff for my fixtures I was designing. I had a circle, so then we just had it all fixtured up. So you just hit the plasma cutter and then you just
Zip it
in a circle and cut your perfect circle.
It's so cool though.
They're
Isn't
neat.
It?
They're neat.
It is a lot of fun. Now I just want to go plasma cut things.
But then you got to figure out how to put it back together.
I don't have to do anything.
That's where we get the welding.
Don't tell
That's
me how to
somebody
live my
else's
life. Don't tell me how to live
problem.
my life.
That's future me's problem.
You should start.
Current me just wants to cut it apart.
You should start a business that does half cuts. Then
I don't know what that means.
half cuts.
half cuts. Do I have some JDM knowledge that you guys don't have? Because this is really embarrassing.
Maybe.
It's where it's when they import cars from Japan to other countries. Some of them make them like completely disable the car. So one way they do is cut it in half.
Oh, is that like
A front clip and a rear clip.
Yeah.
if
Yeah.
you watch Mighty Car Mods, they're putting a car back together right now?
Yeah, the Mira,
Mira.
which is insanity.
Yeah.
Have you watched any part of this, Robbie?
No, I don't have
We've
time
been
for that.
talking about it
I'm
lately,
sorry.
but so he has he's got this Daihatsu Mira, and I kept seeing the promos for that, and they're like talking about Marty's Mira, and I was like, did Mighty Car Mods go like super fucking
Off the deep end?
Yeah, I was like, Mira,
Yes.
Mira. What do you?
Yes,
no,
they have
no,
gone
no.
off the deep
No,
end.
I meant the other way. I was like, how did Marty get a Lamborghini? I kept seeing the title Mira. I was like, where do you get money?
That's
Where do
not
you
how
get money
spell
for
that? But
Yeah, I guess you're right. It isn't how you spell it, is it?
yeah, it's just MIRA.
But
for
so
the Daihatsu.
it's just a little tiny Daihatsu like super mini thing, Robbie.
It's a K car.
It's a K car, and they have them. Yep, that's it right
Yeah.
there.
Okay.
They have them in Japan, but they're all-wheel drive and turbocharged.
Well, that's fun.
No, I think that one might be the dual charged one.
Oh goodness.
Yes,
I
it's
don't
got
know.
a supercharger and a turbocharger. on
Well,
it.
that explains why he's going through all this work. But anyway, the one that was the Australian import one was, not turbocharged and front-wheel drive only.
Mm-hmm.
And so he had one in, I think, that movie Key to the City.
Yeah, they did a movie quite a few years ago now where they went to Japan and bought that car and then drifted it.
Well, that's fun.
And
Did
so
Matt Skidzio.
then Moog, the other guy, he didn't sell the car like he said he was going to or have it crushed or whatever. He kept it. And so to import it, they cut it in half. And then Marty bought a different Daihatsu. And now they're converting the Australian delivered Daihatsu into a JDM Daihatsu. And the process of doing this involves removing the floor.
Because the floors are different for the all-wheel drive.
Yep.
So they've pulled both cars all the way down to shells and have removed the floor and then are stitching that floor back into the front-wheel drive Australian one so they can put the all-wheel drive platform in there. And, dude, they've just way over the edge. Just they've gone off the deep end.
And the Japanese one was in Japan, and they have similar weather to us, so they have like rust problems, and so the floor's rusty, so they had to cut the floor out, and then they had to patch the floor, and then they had to send it to a place to dip it. So then they had it, completely dipped to get rid of all the rust, and then coated, and then they brought that back, and it's just like, fuck.
But you know what I like about Mighty Car Mods? When I'm watching it, like especially I've noticed it with this particular build they're doing right now, they're in a nice shop.
Yeah.
But beyond their location, that could be anybody. They're using like
hand tools.
They're using hand tools and like Home Depot
welder.
brand cordless saw.
They have Ryobi tools.
Yeah,
I can respect that.
Yeah, and
I got
like,
some Black & Decker.
Like they're not using a plasma cutter to cut these new chunks of metal out to weld in, and they're not using these crazy body fabrication tools and stuff like that. They're using stuff that like anybody could go and buy from Harbor Freight to build this car.
That's the way to do it, man.
And it's admirable of them that they're doing it. I mean, I'm sure it's not by choice necessarily, but they're doing it in a way that anybody could if they were just crazy enough.
I like where their heads are at.
Starts by changing blow-off valves. Next thing you know, you're cutting the floor out of a car.
I watched
can
like
relate
the
to
first.
It just progresses. To
I watched like literally their first episodes, and they're like showing you how to mask off your windshield wiper arms without removing them, so you can paint them black.
They've come a long way.
That's where they
Ricer,
started.
yo.
That's where they started.
Did you know it was supposed to be a green and ecological based car show when it very first started?
Really?
How weird is
No.
that? It was supposed to be all about, because I think at the time Marty even had a little Daihatsu then, like
I think
8
he's
years ago.
had them forever. I think those are his thing.
And so it was supposed to be about, these little tiny green, sustainable cars, and then glad that didn't work out very well for him. Because that would have been a terrible show. But anyway,
Enough about other people's things.
Yeah, no kidding.
I think that's it, Robbie. I think that's it for an opener.
That was quite the opener.
That was quite the opener.
You can find us on Facebook, of course, and Instagram at 1010s Podcast at 1010spodcast.com. You can find us, where else? YouTube. We've got our store at 1010spodcast.com. You should check that out.
Get a hat.
We got hats on there now.
Okay, so explain this to me. There's two styles of hat.
Yep.
What are they?
There's a snapback that's flat build.
What does snapback mean?
It's the ones that actually snap. Have
There's
a little
snaps
snap
in
things
them.
Oh,
on it.
okay.
Like a
okay.
trucker hat.
Like that little like fake bronze piece.
Fake bronze piece.
It's a plastic
like-
piece that snap together.
Okay.
No, not that thing.
Not that
You're
thing.
you're thinking about the thing that clips.
Yes.
It's not a clippy hat.
Oh,
It's a
okay.
snap. It's a snap hat. Snap,
Don't worry.
Snap
The
hat.
rest of the listeners will know what a snapback is.
I don't know that that's true.
It's
I
not
can't
a
be
trucker.
the only person who
It's
has
not
no
a trucker
idea.
hat.
It's not a trucker hat.
'Cause
Which
it's not
means that it's mesh, right?
Yeah,
the back like.
But if it's a trucker
Bit is
hat,
mesh?
it also has a snappy thing on it.
Okay.
It's
Okay,
not
I'm
that.
following you. And then what's the other one?
It's just a regular flex fit hat
Okay.
with a curved bill. And I didn't know, because I didn't, as much as I watched West Coast West Coast choppers back in the day.
Yep.
I didn't know what you're supposed to do is get a flex fit hat and then roll the bill. So Spencer is teaching me these things.
Roll it as in
It's a
like
mini
make
trucker
it
thing.
curved.
Or mini, yeah. But don't you remember
He rolled
back
them
in the
up.
day?
He rolled it up.
Yeah, in the West Coast thing was to roll the end of the bill up. So you take
Yeah.
a curved bill hat and then you flatten it and roll
Roll it. Yeah. Okay.
Spencer's is that way.
Spencer's going to teach me that thing.
Oh, I've seen that.
Apparently, that's cool.
I don't know. I'm just. It's a car lifestyle thing. It's a motorcycle thing. I'm here to experience it. He's going to show me how to do it. I'm going to buy another hat.
It's all about the experience, Robbie.
I'm going to buy another hat. He's going to show me how to do it.
Robbie wants to ride bulls. Michael wants to learn how to curl bills on hats. Basically the same thing.
Basically,
I think that's fair to say.
I think you'll be all right.
One of us will be alive in a year. So be it.
All right, now that everybody knows the differences, they should go and
They
buy
are
them.
available on the website as well as muscle tank top thingies and regular shirts and some other things. So you should go explore that. I think that's it for our own self-promotion. Should we do our topic?
Let's do our topic.
So our topic this week is related to One Lap of America. That is happening, what is today? Today's Sunday, technically. So that would have started yesterday, I believe.
So it's happening now.
It's happening right now.
For once, we're actually on time instead of a
Kind
week
of
behind schedule.
Topical for once.
Don't get used to it, people.
So anyway, for people that don't know, One Lap of America is it's a rally, I suppose you could call it. It's basically, it depends on the year, but I think today, or this year, I think there's 8 stops this year. But basically what you do is Brock Yates Jr., who puts this on, lines up, I think they've said it's anywhere from 6 to 10 racetracks throughout the United States. Depends on the year and what he can set up. But basically, you rally from racetrack to racetrack. You've got a lap that you run at the track, and then your co-driver can run a lap as well, and then you rally to the next destination, and you do that for 6 to 10 days, depending on what year it is. This originally stemmed from Cannonball, which I'm sure some people are familiar with. That was originally started by Brock Yates, Senior, I suppose it would be. And that was the whole Alex Roy, driving from New York to L.A. as quickly as possible, which was popular, I think in the 70s. It would have been popular to do that. And then the police caught on, and then it was less popular. And so eventually Brock Yates started One Lap, which I think was in 1984. He started doing One Lap of America, and now his son carries it on, Brock Yates Jr., and I couldn't believe they had been doing it for 33 years. That's kind of crazy.
That is
Think about it.
a long time.
That's a long time. I would never have guessed it was that long when I looked it
No,
up.
I never would have guessed 33 years. That's a lot.
It seems like one of those things that is...
Kind of underground?
Yeah, it is kind of underground. I'm not
For
sure why.
as long and as prominent of names as it are involved in it.
Yeah.
It hasn't commercialized and,
Yeah, even
for
though
lack
it's
of a better term, sold out.
sponsored by Tire Rack. I mean, hugely. Not saying that's wrong. I'm just saying Tire Rack's pretty mainstream for us. But yeah, for some reason it's not hugely commercialized, except this year, Hot Rod and Roadkill and what was there another one? Motor Trend,
Well, Motor Trend is,
part of
or
it.
they are Motor Trend.
They're all doing it this year apparently.
It'll get,
So,
it'll get a lot of coverage.
It'll get a
then.
lot of coverage this year.
If they make it.
They're not going to make it.
I'm not.
I did see
we
a
have
post.
we have a pot on whether or not they're even going to get there.
I saw a post, I think just today, which today is
Wednesday.
the 3rd, Wednesday. And so it's Finnegan. He went out and bought a first-gen Firebird or
I think it was
Trans
a
Am.
69.
And Tony Angelo, who is the drifter,
He's on Hot Rod Garage.
they were at his shop or somebody's shop, and their plan was to build a 400.
Oh, I thought he had a motor.
No.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
They were going to build they're going to build a 400. They're going to swap it into the Trans Am.
No, they're not.
And they were going to be at the orientation, which
Nope.
when I talked to Bill, who's doing it this year, my understanding is the orientation is on Friday.
No.
You have to be there to tech and get your sticker packages and do all that fun stuff so that you can be prepared for the 6th, which is the first race.
What could possibly go wrong?
I'm calling bullshit.
This,
You know what? I love I love Roadkill, and I love Hot Rod, and I love all of that.
I
and
love Finnegan's like,
and I love Tony Angelo, and I love Freiburger. But
Not
this is normally how they operate, and I can tell you, and I've never done one lap, but we know Bill, who runs the Subaru. This is his second year doing it, and I can tell you that this does not pan out particularly well when you wait till last second for this type of endurance kind of rally race thing.
this is not the Lemons rally that they did a while ago.
Well, the last 24-hour Lemons race, didn't they only do like an hour?
No, they did the Lemons rally that was held on the East Coast earlier this year or late last year, something like that. And then that episode just came out on YouTube not that long ago.
Oh, you're talking about Hot Rod or Roadkill. Yeah.
Yep.
Did they make it?
Yes, in what they called the missing link, which was a Lincoln that used to be a 4-door and someone shortened to 2. Get it?
Yep, I do
Missing
remember.
link?
I do remember seeing that.
Oh boy.
But this is really it's a test of endurance of the drivers. It's a test of endurance of the cars. Because you're shaking these cars down pretty hard when you're racing and then rallying for. I mean, I don't know. Did you find anything about the longest stint? I know sometimes.
I don't have numbers. I can give you the race order.
Okay.
I think that, it's not uncommon for you to have 400 to 600 miles in a day that you have to cover.
It could very well be here. We start in South Bend, Indiana.
They all
at
start
Tire
and
Rack,
end at Tire Rack's facility in South Bend.
and then that goes to the Grissom Air Force Base. I'm not sure where that's at. It's just north of Indianapolis.
Okay.
And then you go from there all the way down to Memphis International Raceway.
Okay.
Which is not a short haul.
How many states is that through?
It goes Indianapolis to Kentucky to Nashville, Tennessee to Memphis.
Ouch. Okay.
And then from there, you rally from Memphis to Road Atlanta.
Okay.
So then you go through
That's a
Mississippi,
long one.
Alabama, and into Georgia.
Yep.
And then from Road Atlanta, you go down to Sebring International Raceway.
Which that is a long jog.
That's a long
hold on a
haul
second.
too.
That says, can't read it. Somebody bail me out.
Is there a mileage?
567 miles on that leg.
And then from there, you go from Sebring up to Carolina Motorsports Park.
545 miles.
And then from South Carolina? South Carolina up
Yep.
to Dominion Raceway in Virginia, it looks like.
It's another 300 and some miles.
And then from Dominion Raceway, you go to Gingerman Raceway
Ooh, 702 miles.
Yeah, that's crazy.
in 8
And
days.
then go back to South Bend
Yes.
for the finish.
And
9 days. So it's 9 days.
9
right?
days this year. Okay.
That's a lot of driving.
It's a lot of
and
driving.
a lot of racing, and
Yep.
not a lot of sleeping in 9 days.
And I think your second timed run at the track, I think starts at like 1:30 or something. Does that sound right? Am I making that up? 12:30 maybe? 12:30.
that sounds right, because when we watched it in Omaha, they started racing around noon.
Yeah.
So when they go from Dominion, it sounds like the second time trial, it says here, starts at 1 at Dominion. So it's 1 o'clock at Dominion, and you do your time trial at some point. And the other thing about one lap is it's unsupported. So they have rules about what you can take with you,
Yep.
especially related to tires. And you have to carry that stuff with you. So if you're racing, anything that you bring with you, obviously you have to take out of the car. So if you bring a bunch of crap with you every time you do this, you have to take all that shit out of the car, assuming it's not in like a little trailer or something. Take all that shit out of the car, get the car ready to race, go race the car, get the car off the track, put all the shit back in the car, and then take off to the next destination. So
Yeah, because you're allowed to bring your race car and then like a small trailer behind it, and that's it. There's no tow rigs. There's no
right, you can't
no
have
support,
somebody
no
chasing
help.
you. No. But think about if you don't have a trailer, how much dicking around that is. And most people don't bring a trailer.
No, that's a lot of loading and unloading.
So if you're going from Dominion to Gingerman and you're leaving at, let's say, best case scenario, 1 o'clock, and you got to do 700.
Yeah, if you just do the first time trial and call that good, like you're happy with your time and you're moving on, you don't get out of there till 1 o'clock.
So you got to leave at 1 and you got to go 702 miles to be at Gingerman. And that first time trial starts at 9. And at some point you have to sleep in there.
No, you don't.
One of you is not sleeping
Right.
because it's just you and your co-driver, and that's it.
Yep.
That's a lot of not
Think
sleeping.
about that.
Wow.
So the interesting thing, when I looked this up on Wikipedia to learn some more information about it. It said that this differs from Cannonball in that it's intended for you to stick to the speed limit when you're traveling from track to track.
What I have heard / read is that you should expect to get at least 2 speeding tickets per 1 lap.
I think you could probably do it if you have the proper setup.
But
Like,
you won't
could do
get
it with
sleep
proper
if
stuff.
you don't speed.
Right, so that's
Oh, yeah.
that's the trade-off. And that's usually the trade-off with rallying that nobody talks about, is that you can drive the speed limit, which is the rule, drive the speed limit, but you don't sleep.
Right.
So it's part of the strategy of the whole race, though. How much sleep you get, how fast you go from point to point, how many runs you do at your time trial, all that stuff is part of, where you're going to end up finishing eventually.
Sounds awesome.
It's part of it's just part of the deal.
I think it sounds miserable. I don't think
We'll do it without you.
You guys have fun. I don't think I want.
Robbie,
to
we'll
be
do
a
it.
part of
We'll do it
this.
in your car.
Yeah, we'll do it in the 240 with no cruise control, no heat.
Oh, you don't have any
no-
cruise control? Oh, damn it.
No
You
AC.
don't have heat.
No AC, and it's fixed back racing seats for both of them. Well, at least the passenger will be somewhat comfortable with the Evo 3s because they're wide.
Perfect.
But then it's a fixed back, so you can't fit anything into it. I have to make a trailer.
Oh, crap. We wouldn't be able to put anything in your car, would we?
Well,
Not really.
Let's just hope it doesn't break down. We'll be fine.
We're not going to take any brake
It's an
pads,
LS.
no
It's
extra
reliable.
tires,
That's enough to fit in the trunk. Not the tires, but
That's
could
fair,
do-
I suppose.
You could do a whole event or like a whole round trip on a set of brake pads. I bet.
It's more if something goes wrong. That's
well, it's an LS. So we just go to Napa and get parts.
that's
ain't no
important.
thing.
That's an important part of the strategy, though.
It is.
If you had an SR20 and something went wrong, which it would.
Which it would, yes. But you'd be up a creek.
Well, yeah, exactly. You'd have to find a JDM shop, and hope you could find one.
Not gonna happen.
But it happened. So Bill, who is Team Cornfed with Scott, a couple
Find
of
them
our
on
buddies.
Facebook.
You can find them on Facebook. You should follow them this week because they'll have their exploits posted there. But 2 years ago, he broke an engine mount because they do a drag. At one point, they do, and it's on the calendar again this year. It's a different location.
It's at the Memphis location. Must be a track and a strip there.
So they'll do. He was drag racing and he launched it and he broke an engine mount.
Oh shit.
Where do you find an engine mount for a 2011 or 12 Subaru STI?
You don't.
Right, exactly.
You can't just go down to a.
You find a Subaru
Napa doesn't cover
a Subaru dealer maybe.
Well, so I think he found an aftermarket Subaru shop, and they had one, or I think they may have had to have gone a couple places and limp it for a while. But I mean, it's a consideration depending on what you're going to run.
Yeah, you got to kind of plan for things that might break. And
Right,
hope you have a
exactly.
spare.
So anyway, as part of this whole kind of process of thinking about one lap and how we'd want to do it, we kind of came up with a theoretical scenario where we were going to put together our own one lap race, what tracks we would want to go to, and what we would drive on this course.
We had to decide what we were driving?
Why would you not decide what you're driving?
I literally said
I
pick a
thought-
car.
Oh, I'll figure that out while we're talking. But
How hard can that be?
So,
it's not that hard.
Just like pick your favorite one you saw when we went and spectated.
or just pick a
Just
car.
roll with
Just
that.
pick a car. It doesn't matter.
So anyway, Robbie's won this apparently.
Well, apparently not, since I didn't pick a car. I was too focused on picking
All,
Picture is
tracks.
but
ours.
like all week, he's been like, "No, mine's better.
Mine's the best
Mine's
track."
better." He's got his mapped out. And Adam's like, "Okay, so Adam came up with the rules. He's like, just pick some tracks and some places you'd want to go, and it doesn't even really have to make sense. It's just this is fantasy land. It's just
Yeah.
for fun.
That
Just
was
trying
the
to
whole
have fun
point.
here,
That was
Robbie.
the whole point.
This podcast is fun." And
No.
Robbie had to turn it into a competition where he
Competition.
had the best route with the best tracks, and it worked, and we could do it next week, and it would be perfect.
Mine could still
And I
be
did
one
that.
lap, but it wouldn't be of America. Let's put it that way.
So anyway, who wants to start then? Should we start with the winner or
Let's start with the winner.
All right,
let
Charlie.
Robbie go.
Charlie Sheen? Go for it.
All right, so here's mine. You guys can see this on the YouTube channel, and you can see it here. But we start in Florida and end in California, doing it Gumball style with
Okay.
a start and a finish. We're not doing the tire rack route.
We're not coming back around.
So we're starting.
It's not really a lap then, is it?
No,
Robbie?
it's not a lap. It's
So
Gumball.
it's one of America. Congratulations.
It's one Gumball-esque
Of
race.
America.
It's a rally. So mine is from Sebring, Florida
Okay.
to Salina, California, 3,584 miles.
So you're telling me your first leg is 3,000 miles, or is that the whole thing?
That's start to finish.
Oh, okay.
All right.
So what 7 tracks? As we said, they're stopping at 7 tracks this year. So what 7 tracks are you doing?
I don't know if I have 7. But anyways, I started at Sebring International.
You're not
can't
winning. You're
follow
not
any
hashtag
rules,
winning
can
at
you?
this.
You did not say 7.
I did.
He did say 7.
Bullshit. So we start at Sebring International Raceway.
Okay.
We rally, 560 miles to Road Atlanta.
Okay.
And then from Road Atlanta, it's 898 miles to Eagles Canyon Raceway in Decatur, Texas.
That one's long.
Jesus, that would be a bad day.
Because you have to have somewhere between Atlanta and Austin.
You just picked a track in the middle.
I found the only track between Atlanta and Austin. And then 253 miles to Circuit of the Americas in Austin.
That's a good one.
And then 833 miles to the Indy Motorsports Ranch in Wilcox,
800.
Arizona.
Okay.
And the reason we know about that one... No, wait, no, that's the next one. Sorry.
Yeah.
I was going to say.
Then 546 miles to Spring Mountain Motor Resort.
Yep.
That's the one by Vegas.
Yep.
We talked
Future
about that.
longest track in the world.
Yep. And then 494 miles to Mazda Raceway, Laguna Seca.
Yep.
And that's all I got.
Robbie's one of America.
My rally.
What car are you running it in?
What?
You want time to think.
You want
I do
come
need
back
time
around?
to think about it.
Okay.
All right, Adam, you go.
All right. So mine is one lap of the globe apparently because I said that
Just one of the globe.
yeah. Because I said, pick 7 of your. Let's pretend for a minute that all of these tracks are, 400 to 700 miles apart.
Oh, by the way, mine is 7.
7 tracks.
Yep.
Oh, look at you, Robbie.
I did it without even trying.
Pick your 7 favorite tracks, and we'll just pretend that this is a feasibility. So, obviously, we're starting in South Bend, Indiana, because that's where they
You were
always
following
start.
the rules, yeah.
Yep, I follow the rules. And so then,
He follows the rules across the globe.
Except he follows the starting point rule, but then he completely forgets the laws of
you
physics.
immediately get on a.
This is a scenario where he has a Fast and the Furious type cargo plane where he can go over the fuck he wants.
Yeah, and so then you immediately get on your plane and fly to Sonoma, to Sonoma Raceway,
Okay.
which we talked about with James, one of my favorite tracks.
Yep.
And then the only realistic drive from there to Mazda Raceway Laguna Seca.
Makes sense.
Then we need to immediately hop on a
Another
plane
plane.
or
A
a boat maybe,
A
because
ship.
we're on our way to let's go to Australia.
Oh, good grief.
Mate, yeah. Where
This
you
is
going
the
on
one
this?
lap of America.
That's
Adam.
what happened to the globe, Robbie.
I didn't do a lap. You're not even staying in the country.
I said it was imaginary, Robbie.
You took it. I broke the rules, but yeah, no, you're fine. You're fine. Don't worry about that.
I made the rules. I can't break them. To Mount Panorama, which is where they hold the Bathurst 1000.
That's a
which
good
is just
one.
a legendary
I didn't
track.
even think
That'd be
about
cool.
that one.
And I
That's
just think
good.
it's looks like a lot
Well,
of fun.
the reason you didn't think of that one is because it's not in this fucking country.
Admittedly, mine are all in the United States, and I don't know if it's because I got that direction or because it's called One Lap of America, and so that's what I was going for. I don't know. I'm just saying. I'm not saying anybody's right. I'm just saying.
Then you need to get on a plane again because now you're headed to Japan for Suzuka.
That's
a
a good
Formula
that's a
One
good-
track.
Oh, for God's sakes.
I want to race these tracks,
many
Robbie.
miles?
These are just, I don't even know because I didn't
You
put
should
it in
have.
Google
You
Maps.
should have.
All the miles, tens of thousands probably. Then after that, we're headed to Europe. The only place we didn't hit, the only continent I didn't manage was Antarctica, which I don't think they have a racetrack. So.
You could do some ice racing.
yeah,
out
we
there.
could do some ice racing.
We could make a track.
Ice battle, hashtag ice battle. Hit up a Ascari,
Okay.
which is a private track, but
That's a cool track.
I've played it on Gran Turismo 6, I think. Seems like a lot of fun.
I saw
Awesome
it.
looking track.
Saw it on Top Gear. It looks very cool.
Yeah. Then, of course, my dream tracks would not be complete without the Grand Prix circuit at the Nürburgring. Have almost no interest in actually racing on the real Nürburgring, but the Grand Prix circuit's one of my favorites.
Right
I
on.
just don't really
You
like
could just
the real
drive
one.
the Nürburgring like the toll road that it is.
I don't
just
really
to say
like
you
the
were there.
Nürburgring. I
Just to
suppose
say
if
you
you're
were
there, you better, make a lap. And then you're going to need to get on a plane again because we're flying back to the United States to hit up Daytona International Raceway. Because I felt like we needed a speed circuit,
Okay.
Now, obviously, we're going to race the Roval configuration, just like they do at the 24 Hours of Daytona.
Yep.
And then you're cannonballing back to your finish point, which is obviously Tire Rack in South Bend, Indiana.
It's not even a rally.
It's
He
a
doesn't
one
drive. He drives
circle of
200
the
miles.
globe.
It's one lap of the globe.
He
It's perfectly logical, Robbie.
He drives a total of 300 miles.
This is the world's most expensive rally. Like, you know what I mean?
It's not a rally.
If somebody put this on, you know how celebrities do rallies
Oh,
now?
people would totally do it, though. You know it.
Entry fee is like $500,000. But think about, like, seriously,
No, you're not
celebrities
wrong.
do Gumball and stupid shit like that.
Entry fee would be like perfectly reasonable, like $50. But then you gotta,
You gotta
it's
figure it
your
out.
problem. It's your problem. You got like 80 days, let's say. We'll just, go real old.
Around,
No, you should have dates for schedule the track. Like, you got a week,
Yeah,
not
but
a
we-
week, where you
like
have
3 days to get
to get from here, to Australia to
Yeah,
Suzuka.
but it's your problem.
Right.
However you manage that, it's your deal.
I think people would do. I mean, there's crazy rich people out
All
there.
right, 10 Tenths Podcast, one lap of the globe. Here we go, people. This is about to get real.
holy cow.
Man, well, that's impressive.
So what car are you flying across the world?
Are you just borrowing a car?
The Ultima GTR, of course.
I assumed. Because we did see the Ultima GTR.
The
ad.
Ultimate GTR.
No, those were on the other side of the racetrack. They were the 1,000 horsepower Nissan.
That's actually the day that this whole Ultima versus Ultimate
Ultimate.
GTR thing was born, actually.
If you had picked a different car, I wouldn't even have remembered it.
Probably.
I will
But-
never forget that. But yeah, so he's going to take a kit car for 300
Across the
miles.
country with an LS.
Only 300 miles.
At least with an LS, he's.
Yeah, he should be okay
It's
reliability
reasonable.
wise.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is it my turn?
I think so.
You guys have said most of my.
Are you ready to lose?
Well, I think I probably followed the rules closest out
I
of
don't
everybody
agree with that at all.
because mine's actually in America.
I made the rules, which means that I can't be wrong.
I can't even. Anyway, it doesn't matter. So, in no particular order, because I thought that's what we were doing. It's just
Oh, I literally just
you
made
need to
up.
map it out.
I made up
it's a
that-
rally.
not map.
I made up this map in order on the fly because I literally just have a list of 7 tracks I want
Yeah,
to race
see,
at.
exactly. So this is my list. I'm going to go through my list.
They
Laguna
weren't even
Seca.
in the order that I put them in. So
A lot of these are the same as your guys's. So
That's fine.
And most of them are in
that's
Cal-
because there are bucket list tracks.
Yeah, exactly.
That's the whole point.
And most of them are in California. So Laguna
Weird that
Seca,
way, isn't it?
Laguna Seca. Yeah, James is lucky. Laguna Seca, Spring Mountain. Again, talked about that in Nevada or Nevada.
Nevada.
I
Nevada.
wish it was in Nevada. That'd be sweet.
Sonoma, Willow Springs, Watkins Glen,
Ooh.
just because history
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
whatever. Just to say that I'd done it. Road Atlanta. And then we go back to, we go back to California, Thunderhill, and then we go back to the East Coast and we go to Daytona.
It's funny because like half of those tracks are James's race season.
I know he can just do whatever.
Yeah, he just goes and he races
Literally
all
half
those,
of them are, yeah.
twice a year.
Right.
Dick.
I'm just gonna move. Just gonna pack up my stuff and move out there.
Buy Spec Racer Fords. And just
Could do that.
Have ourselves a time.
I feel like he diced me up pretty bad though.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah. So maybe.
But
That's
at least
not
you have
good
a
look.
target.
Steal his lines. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Fair enough.
You got someone to chase after.
I have the most practical and reasonable car to actually do a one lap with.
Do you have the mileage and.
No.
Oh, dang it.
No.
Come on, man.
He said make a list. He didn't have mileage either.
That's because you both failed at the whole thing. Like, we're supposed to. It's a rally. You're supposed to know.
It's not even a feasibility.
This is coming from the guy he's telling us the rules and he didn't have a car. So I'm
yeah.
just,
He didn't
I got
follow
a-
the
I
rules
got
that
a
were
card.
placed in front of him.
Right,
It's
exactly.
I
whatever.
somehow got the best
It's
car,
whatever.
too.
how do you? What's your best car then?
I got a Z06 Corvette.
No,
That's
no,
so
with a
lame.
with a trailer behind it.
No,
It's perfect.
no.
So
wait,
boring.
wait.
We're waiting.
CTSV wagon.
No,
I think was there one there that year that we won?
I think so. Yeah.
I think there was.
I'm sorry, it's a Corvette with a hatch, and not the what's
Aero-
Linienfelter or
the ugly
Callaway?
it's not the
Callaway
Callaway,
Aero wagon?
which is slightly practical, but really not that practical.
I don't think it has anything to do with practicality.
Well, I got to try to sell Robbie on it because he really hates it.
It's terrible.
He thinks it's like the worst
It's
thing
the
ever.
worst thing ever.
I almost picked an HHR because they're HHRSS because there were a couple of them there that year, and those guys fucking wheel those things.
They're
Like,
doing-
there's many pictures of them on the internet
On
doing
2 wheels.
corners on 2 wheels.
They're
Not
doing it.
just, but like way up there.
They're doing it again this year.
But I can just hear the internet already coming after me and telling me that I'm lame for picking the Homo hot rod. So
Yep.
People really call it that?
Yes.
that's a
Really?
thing. Yeah,
It has the worst-
HHR.
Oh
Homo
shit!
hot rod.
I didn't even.
It also has the worst blind spot in the world. Like if you
Does it?
if you get
It's
in,
not
it,
a Camaro.
it's damn.
It's not a Camaro.
What's
HHRs are worse.
Is it really that bad?
It's a really
apparently
bad.
I've never
Their blind
driven.
spots are terrible.
Never driven an HHR.
I drove one. I don't remember that. I just remember that I wanted it.
You can get it in a manual. It's a Cobalt SS with a hatch again.
You can get the sedan delivery one as an SS. They're stupid rare, but they do exist.
I know because I was thinking that would be like a sweet like accessory vehicle if you had a business. You know what I mean?
Yeah, if you were Carl Performance, that should be your delivery vehicle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just a marketing thing.
Yeah.
It's kind of sort of useful, but not really. Robbie has no idea what we're talking
I
about.
want
Doesn't
one
understand.
so
Do you even know what a
bad.
sedan delivery is?
A sedan delivery? No.
I think they made them. I think they started making them in the 50s. There's some of the 60s.
Maybe even earlier. My dad
Really?
used to have a Pontiac sedan delivery from, it had to have been the 50s, if not earlier.
That thing?
Yeah, those are sedan deliveries.
So basically, it's
They're all right.
Kind of like
it's like a panel van, but not really.
it's kind of like a station wagon, but doesn't have side windows and
Yeah,
it's
you see-
only
you
two
see-
doors.
It's a panel
see
van
them at
and a
Good Guys
station
and all that.
wagon
Yeah,
together.
I think they're rad.
we
all
almost
about 'em.
we almost got one
You should have totally.
long time. Oh, it was pretty shot though.
That's tends to be how it works here in Iowa.
Yeah, it was pretty destroyed. So we decided no, because we were going to build like a hot rod panel thing, and then yeah, it was just too far gone. Screw it.
That happens.
So yeah, I think that's it for one lap. You guys got anything else on that?
I think all our fans will agree that my tracks.
I don't
Robbie's-
think not.
My
Robbie,
my
I will
rally.
admit that if we were going to do one tomorrow, Robbie's makes
The best sense.
like if we had no other preparation
Robbie's is
time.
realistic.
If we had no other preparation time, we have to do it tomorrow. Robbie's is the most realistic
But if
because
we
mine goes
changed,
back and forth across the country. a
if we
bunch of times.
changed like one or two tracks, yours would be better.
right, exactly. That's what I'm saying.
If we like dropped Daytona and
Yeah, we could swap some stuff
picked
out.
up like Auto Club because they're a Roval,
Yeah.
and they're in California,
Right.
I mean that would probably be better.
Yeah, and my car makes more sense, and so
Way
yeah, I'm
more
with you.
sense.
Yeah, but if it was like this is the last rally I'm ever going to do in my entire life, yours makes the most
Mine's
sense.
by far the best.
Right. If this is like I'm going to die in a
Or if
month.
you're like, if you just have FU money,
right, exactly.
like you own 3 Bugatti Veyrons and you can't even figure out what to do with all.
Right,
of your
you wake up
money
every
anymore.
morning and you set your money on fire in your fireplace because
Actually-
you can't figure out how to
Yeah.
heat your house any more expensively than that.
Correct.
Yeah.
You could team up with Red Bull Air Race, and then yours makes sense.
I like
Oh,
where-
if yours
I
is
like where
sponsored
your
by
head's
Red
at.
Bull,
Yours could be a Red Bull rally between the races, so then it could do it one in every day. I like it. See, now it makes he might
See?
win.
Yep,
If
that
we-
makes sense.
But you
I
didn't
was
think it
talking
through.
about like racing with airplanes and cars. This just got
oh,
on
you-
a whole nother
you mean-
level of fucking
yeah,
ridiculous.
You mean you get in one of those rally or one of those crazy acrobat planes, which I don't think will hold enough fuel to fly to Australia.
You know
if
what?
I'm honest.
Details.
We'll find them a different plane. That would be pure insanity
You just need 7 of the same car pre-delivered
at each point.
at each point, and then you just fly there as quickly as possible.
Yours isn't a rally; it's an air race.
I like it though. That's a whole new level of ridiculous that nobody's ever.
Yours is
achieved
like the new
before.
version of Around the World in 80 Days,
Yep.
Be way better though.
mixed with Gumball.
That'd make the best Jackie Chan movie.
It's Fast and the Furious 9.
He
Don't kid
did-
yourself.
I think you actually just described Fast and the Furious 9.
No,
but-
he did a movie called Around the World in 80 Days.
Never
you guys
saw it.
probably don't know that.
No.
But Jackie Chan
was it in a hot air balloon?
Some of it was, yes.
A dirigible.
Excuse me?
That's the ones with the propeller that.
What'd you just
push
call
it?
me?
Yeah. Sorry, did you sneeze?
Achoo.
Excuse you.
So we're
I love Jackie Chan. He's my favorite.
what?
I like that guy. I love his
What's wrong with
movies.
Jackie? How can you not like Jackie Chan?
Come on, Robbie.
I honestly can't think of a movie that I like of his.
What? I can't think of a movie I don't like of his.
Really?
I like them all. Rush Hours? The Rush Hours are
Not
Rush
great.
Hour is terrible, actually.
Thank
Oh,
you.
come on.
Thank you.
They're great.
Who is it? Chris Tucker?
Chris- yeah.
Or is it Chris?
Yeah.
Chris Rock?
No, not Chris Rock.
Chris Tucker.
Chris
It's not
Tucker.
Chris Rock?
No.
Oh.
Chris Tucker is,
He's not funny.
he's not funny. He's annoying.
I think they're hilarious.
They're not funny. Sorry. You got
You
another.
just,
You got
you just
another
don't know
one?
funny if it hits you across the face. I don't know what to tell you.
Wow.
I think we should move on, Rob.
Yes, please.
Let's do the news presented by Titan Fuel Tanks.
All right. So a team is trying to rally a Nissan Leaf 10,000 miles in Europe, which sounds insane.
Robbie, what's a Nissan Leaf? What is that exactly?
It's the Nissan's cheap electric vehicle.
So how is this going to work? How are you supposed to do a rally with an electric vehicle?
With a range of 155 miles.
Because how long is this rally?
10,000.
Something doesn't add up there.
So they think that so far they could start, and it's in a well-populated area because they're going from like the United Kingdom all the way to, gosh, I can't even think. Starts with an M. I can't think of what it is.
Mongolia.
Oh, good Lord.
So they're going from the
That's not going to work at all.
UK to Mongolia, and they think that in the beginning they'll be fine because they can charge it with the speed charger because there's enough charging stations there. But then once they get further east, they run out of those chargers, so they can still charge with like the standard one. And they're fully aware that this is not going to work. So it's not a race because it's a rally. So they're not really worried about how long it takes them.
What?
I get it.
No. But why?
Because
Of all
somebody
the
on
stupid things. Like, of all the, like, buying Red Bull airplanes and flying to racetracks all over the world, stupid things like this.
well,
This
so this
takes the cake.
So the Mongol, it's called the Mongol Rally.
Yep.
Yeah, and
It's supposed to be like stupid. It's supposed to be fun.
It's supposed to have sub 1 liter engine cars, which are expected to break down in 10,000, like by 10,000 miles.
It's supposed to be stupid. It's supposed to
I
be. for
follow a
fun.
guy on Facebook who I think either is competing or did compete already in an original Mini Cooper.
That sounds awful.
That does sound awful.
But it fits the rules.
It does. And the point of this is it's similar to one lap in that you cannot have a support team.
Yeah,
you're kind of out there on your own.
you're expected.
That's where the similarities end.
You're expected to have your car break down and then have to interact with the locals. That's
It literally says
that's
that
part
on
of the
website.
rally.
Yeah, this is one of the most extreme adventure drives you can do
How long does it take? Do you suppose?
until you're done.
Forever.
That's what I was trying to figure out. Is like there's not an end date. It starts on July 16th.
Yeah.
You just get done when you get done, I guess.
Hopefully, if you do.
In July,
So does somebody just hang out at the finish line?
I don't think you finish in July. If it starts on the
somebody might.
16th of July, you finish in August.
Oh God. That's,
So
that's
okay.
So long.
Can you? So it's 10,000 miles. Realistically, how many miles do you think you can do in a day?
Well, they're driving through some of like the least populated and developed parts of the world. So there's probably
Is it-
some days where you're lucky to break triple digits.
So a good day. Let's say on average it's 250 miles.
Yeah.
On
I think
average.
that's realistic.
So what's that math work out to?
250 miles?
Yeah.
See, I was thinking. I immediately went to Gumball numbers.
No, they don't because they're not on interstates. Like they're on
They
these
are.
like
They're
these
sketchy
like
back roads.
these mountain passes, you know?
Yeah, it's even
So if you can do
Jesus.
250 miles a day on average,
40 days.
it's 40 days. So you're well into the next month.
If you search Mongol Rally and it autofills in Google, the second one down is Mongol Rally deaths.
No.
There have been some people that have died on the Mongol Rally.
That
That doesn't surprise me at all. I don't think there's even a specified route, if I remember correctly.
You just have to get there.
You have a starting point and an end point, and just good luck.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm not.
I don't know.
It feels like the biggest publicity stunt you could come up with from the company that's doing this, trying to run this Leaf.
Rule number 1: the car must be small and shitty. Rule number 2:
Are you reading that verbatim?
it's on theadventurous.com.
Okay.
Rule number 2: you're on your own.
Okay.
And rule number 3: save the world. It's like you have to raise money for
Yeah,
charity.
it's supposed to be a charity thing.
But man,
Everything's done in the name of charity anymore.
But maybe this is a good move because maybe, Black Flag wrote this article about the Leaf, this team that's running the Leaf. So maybe some people went to their website and donated some money, and maybe that's their gag on this whole deal.
I wonder if these guys want to do a podcast. I would like to talk to the madness that is.
I don't know. I don't have a clue.
not a clue. But it's crazy.
It's
And I love it.
silly and stupid. You love it?
I think it's
you hate
awesome.
electric cars,
think they're
right?
No, not the electric car part. I've completely gotten past
Oh,
that.
you're talking about the
rally.
Mongol
itself.
rally.
I'm totally past that. No, doing an electric car is...
I mean, if you had a month to like just go buy a stupid car and drive it through Mongolia. I mean, I would
fun.
do that. Yeah, definitely.
Doing an electric car?
I don't know if I would. I like living a lot.
You're probably
Like
not
a
gonna.
lot.
He's also the same guy that just said he wouldn't do one lap because it was too hard.
Yeah, he's not doing well.
Sounds miserable. I like sleeping.
You wouldn't do it's a
Do
week.
you know how much I sleep?
It's a week.
Yeah, but
Too
you know,
much apparently.
You know how I like
But then you get to tell
any
you
much later than like 9:30, maybe 10 o'clock, and I'm like a mogwai.
excuse me?
Mogwai.
We've talked about this before.
Gremlins.
Oh, that.
Mogwais.
Why do we keep bringing this up?
I don't know.
We've talked about gremlins too many times on this show.
That's not true. We don't talk about it enough.
This is literally the second time. That's not
That's too many.
No.
You don't think that when you get to like be 80 years old and somebody's like, tell me about your life, you don't think you'll feel like you left out if you had the chance to do one lap or the Mongol rally and you didn't do it because you wanted to sleep?
Or ride a bull or, whatever.
I would
Don't
rather
throw
do
ride a bull in there.
I would rather do things like chump races and stuff like that.
Stuff where you could sleep between.
Well, if I have to stay up, it's only for 24 hours, not 9 days.
Well, you get a little sleep on
Yeah, you
one
can
lap.
sleep in the car.
You can sleep in the car. They get hotel rooms.
What?
Why?
Don't do that.
Why not?
Don't stop.
If you got a 350-mile leg, why wouldn't you stop and try to get some sleep at a hotel?
Oh, you're talking one lap.
Yeah. No.
I'm stuck on Mogul right now.
Not the Mongol rally.
No, I'm sure.
Mongol.
I'll bet you they do get hotels.
No, I wouldn't do that.
For 40 days, you're just not going to sleep?
No, we got to keep going. We got to persevere.
No, they don't. They stop. I guarantee
You got to
it.
finish the race, the rally. I keep calling it a race. It's not a race. It's a rally.
You're just going to die. You can't not sleep for 30 days. 40
No,
days.
that's why there's multiple drivers. One sleeps, the other one drives.
No way.
It doesn't work, Robbie.
That's
No,
how it
when you're
works.
driving through like a field, which it sounds like you're doing part of the time on this, you can't. You're not sleeping. There's no sleeping that's happening.
I bet you sleep. People sleep on one lap.
Well, yeah, but
Even
you're on
in the
a
rain.
You're on a. Well, that was a weird.
It was
scenario.
Ariel Adam.
That was a one-off. That guy's he's a
Madman.
superhero or something. I don't know what his problem is, but
God.
sleeping in an Ariel Atom while it's raining.
Tornadoes all around you.
Yeah.
Oh, well. Well, speaking of crazy electric things, Elon Musk is coming up with this ridiculous underground tunnel that he thinks is going to replace all the gridlock traffic that we deal with. And I think he's finally lost it.
Yeah, I think he's gone off the deep end for sure.
This adds so many more problems than it would solve.
So how do we even try to
Right?
start describing this? It's like basically it's kind of like a subway, underground subway before your car, and you pull up you're driving down the road in your city, you pull into a little station thing.
It's called a skate. It's the size of a vehicle, and it's basically on the side of the road in a parking spot where normally they would be parking spots. So you're get off the busy road, you wait, and then the skate's there, and then you roll onto the skate, and then the skate magically goes underground into this tunnel. But then that is a gaping hole in the road, which is, let's completely ignore the fact that there's a gaping hole in the road where that other people could fall into.
pedestrians,
Cars,
dogs.
yeah, whatever. And so then now this skate gets put on this track, and then that goes to this tube, which is kind of like the Hyperloop, where it's supposed to be vacuumed, and it's magnetic, and you go like.
Isn't it like a magnetic? It floats magnetically, so it's like zero friction.
I'm not
in
sure.
theory.
In theory, and then it goes 124 miles an hour, and then you're supposed to just bypass all of the gridlocked traffic.
Yeah, so you could do
But
that.
let's completely ignore the fact that you're going to have cars waiting in line to get into this tunnel. Assuming the tunnel works, you're going to have you're going to have to zipper cars into each other, which I don't know how that would possibly work. And then they have to figure out how they're going to get other people off and
Phrasing.
But
You should have seen his face.
His face is like, he's
Oh,
like, no!
shit. Did I really
said it!"
just say that?
Nobody say anything. Never seen so much pain in a man's face before.
also, as if the concept itself wasn't ridiculous enough, financially, it will cost $1 billion per mile.
What?
Yep.
How do you? So wait just wait a second. The other problem
It's
is
the second time I've been speechless in the news in our second story.
the other problem is like there's shit under roads now. I mean,
I was going to say, so like the company I work for, we put a lot of stuff in the ground. And so I know what's in the ground, and we don't live in what is really a wildly busy place as far as utilities go, where he's like, New York City, there's not room for this.
No, there is.
No, there's not.
In theory, you can just go deeper.
Phrasing, but
That's his plan. This is a 3D tunnel. You could go infinitely deeper.
I don't want to be the bearer of bad news, but you really can't.
Oh, I'm aware. I understand the physics and the logic behind this not working, but he's convinced that once you get past the whole $1 billion per mile thing at first, you'll be able to make the tunnel smaller. The technology will be there. It'll be 1/10 of $1 billion, maybe. And he's insane. There's no freaking way.
I don't know what else to say about it. It's such a stupid plan that doesn't make any sense at all. And not only that, but okay, so you want to do this with cars. What about the public transportation that exists underneath cities now?
Can't you just improve that and just call it a day? Because, again, this is the same argument we have for the Hyperloop and all this other bullshit he comes up with. Can't we just spend a little bit of money and improve the fast trains that Japan has and put them underground? Just be like, see? All right, we're done.
It's going to be a lot.
Not even just put them on ground.
Well, if you want to try to...
We could just use the train track system we already have.
That's busy.
It's pretty shitty.
That too.
We screwed it up when we put in all the highways.
Yeah, but we could start over.
We could start over.
And it wouldn't cost $1 billion a mile.
No, I agree. 100%.
It might cost $1 billion. End. Like, full stop.
Not with this government. $1 billion per day.
Did you get that out of your system?
I
You
did.
feel better now? Okay, all right. I just wanted to make sure.
It's the road.
Damn it, Robbie.
It's the road construction.
Oh, I went
thing all
through
over
5
again.
different road construction zones between my house and here, and it's only a 45-mile drive, so don't even get me started.
Yeah, exactly.
We're shifting lanes, we're narrowing lanes, we're adding bridges. It's out of control right now.
Yeah, I get it.
We should just fix the infrastructure we have.
There's 3 seasons in Iowa, didn't you know that? There's winter, more winter, and road construction.
Accurate.
Yeah.
So anyway, this is the madman that wants to sell you an electric car and not a hydrogen-powered car. Just keep that in mind.
Yeah. That's our political statement for the day.
Just
Keep
take
that
a
in
second
mind.
to think about that. I think that's it. I don't want to talk about him anymore.
No more.
There's crazy
I
ideas.
want to know how many people think we're wrong. We're the ones off our rocker.
Okay, fine. Go to Jalopnik or wherever this came from. Watch the video.
It'll be linked in our show notes on our website.
There you go. Go to 10tenspodcast.com. Go to the podcast. Is that what it says?
Podcast, something like that. Click
It'll
on
be
the show notes.
top one for this episode. Click it. Go to the notes. There'll be a link. Click on it, and you will see the video of the bullshit of the thing with the tunnel and the hole in the ground.
I can't wait to watch
and
this video.
The old people falling in and all the whole. It's all there. You'll see it.
Do they really have old people fall in?
Well,
No, they're assuming that no one falls in the hole.
Well, so most every day, I have to open up these small little, like 3-foot by 2-foot holes in the ground that are only maybe 2 or 3 foot deep. And I have to be very, very, very careful to keep what should be sober college students from falling into those. How do they think that a car-sized hole that goes much deeper is going to end?
Certain death.
It's not going to work.
No.
Like, I have to go wildly out of my way, bright red or bright orange cones and sometimes snow fencing to keep people from falling into these itty-bitty holes.
There's a lot of logic that wasn't thought about. It was just this harebrained, stoned
Yeah,
idea.
but he
seems to be the-
he got graphic designers to
But
make
he's
a video.
the billionaire, Robbie.
I know.
And that's what's wrong with this world.
And he got people to make a video of it.
That's true. His interns did a lot of work.
And somebody did.
He owns a McLaren F1. I'm just saying. We don't own a McLaren F1.
Well, fine. I'll come up with some crazy bullshit rocket tube fucking thing that leaves a dangerous hole in the ground then.
my
And I'll
rally's
become a
starting to make
billionaire.
more and more sense.
Yeah,
I'm just
exactly.
saying.
Like I said,
Your rally is more feasible than this idea.
charge $500,000
Yeah.
per entrant.
And make them logistically figure it out on their own.
Right, and we'll be rich.
It's one of those deals where the more money you spend, the more money it costs, the more people are going to want to throw money at you.
Right, and then get sponsors and the
Yeah.
whole deal. And exactly. Then we'll be rich.
It's another great business idea. We're just giving away.
We're just giving it away for free.
We might not release this show.
We're just
we
gonna
might be
stop now.
done.
This is it. We're packing it in because we're going to spend all of our time making up the rally with no logistics.
I'll quit my job tomorrow.
All we gotta
Don't
do is-
even tempt me, Michael.
All we got to do is rent the tracks. That's it. We're going to be here on this date. There's going to be people
How
with
hard can
jets. Do you have an airport?
How hard can it be?
Famous last words.
Yeah. Anyways,
What's next?
Do
So
you have
there's-
an airport? I didn't even think about that.
Do you have an
You
airport?
got to land at the closest airport, then get in a helicopter to fly to the
Oh
racetrack.
God!
Wow. So there's a company in Europe.
Land on the front straight.
Why? Just let it die.
No, I won't. I won't let it die. It must continue.
Robbie hates your plan.
It's not going to work.
Okay, Robbie, I'm done.
What's
All
the
right.
news, Robbie?
So in the United Kingdom, a company is testing recycled plastic as a replacer to oil or petroleum in roadways. I think it's great.
It's brilliant. I hope that it works very well for them.
Yeah, this is a crazy idea that I see merit in.
So, what are the details here? There's a company called what is it?
Mac
not
Reber.
important.
What
Mac
is it?
Reber.
Mac Reber.
Mac Reber.
Rec
Say it real
Reber?
fast. Mac MAC
Mac Reber?
MAC capital REBUR.
Reber. Yep. Perfect.
Anyways,
It's not that hard. I don't know what your problem is.
So they're replacing the petroleum products in asphalt, correct?
yep.
With recycled plastic, mixing all that shit together, and they're doing a test plot in Cumbria County, apparently, in the UK, and they're going to see if it works. Their claim is that it wears better than normal asphalt, lasts longer,
10 years longer or 10 times longer.
and it has a lower
That's
rolling,
basically 10 years. Let's be real.
Yeah.
better rolling resistance, less rolling resistance.
Is that bad?
No, it's good. Well,
Did you get better
I think
fuel
it's good.
mileage? Your tires don't wear out as quickly?
No, that's an interesting question.
That was my first question.
Oh, that
was
might
grip.
that
I
might
didn't think about that.
that
you have-
might adversely affect your braking.
Oh, see,
Or
nobody talked about this.
unless they're just talking like making it and installing it.
No,
That
I think they're talking about when you're driving it down the road, the resistance between the road and your car is less.
Let's hope not.
that is
That's
a
a
problem.
terrible
I didn't-
idea. That was my first.
So the first thing they're going to say is, "Oh, but you get better gas mileage." But there's
No,
a
then
lot
you-
of safety concerns that
you
I don't,
slide faster into the car in
that
front of you.
nobody thought about.
This is a very safety-oriented
That-
show. Have
that
you
was
noticed
actually
what
my-
about when it rains?
Exactly. That was my first question when they said that they were replacing the oil products with this
Plastic.
plastic.
My first
which is
question
kind of
was very
funny
different.
because like plastic bags and plastic and stuff is made from petroleum, which is
Yeah.
also.
So I think it's really just replacing. It's more like recycling the petroleum out of plastic back into roadways rather than using fresh petroleum.
Yes.
I think is a better way of describing.
So in essence, they're
process.
cleaning up the earth without really solving the problem. Like we need to find a way to not use petroleum products
in general.
in
This
general.
is a good stopgap measure, though.
I agree.
This is better than just. I mean, what do we do with petroleum products that we've recycled now? We just turn them into more plastics shit.
Yeah.
So my first question was: do these roadways look like a bunch of melted plastic, or is it like blue and green and
No, it's all black.
like Solo cups and
It-
stuff like
did-
that?
didn't
Like,
that-
'cause
wasn't there
that
a
would be
picture?
sweet. I wouldn't even be mad about that if the roads were like tie dyed.
No, it just kind of has.
Just kind of looks like a road.
It looks like a black road.
That's no fun.
Looks like regular asphalt.
regular asphalt.
Yeah.
It's really lame.
I think it's great. I mean, if you can clean up the earth by getting rid of all the like old plastic junk that's just sitting in landfills, and you make roads out of it, and it lasts longer.
Assuming you don't crash into people.
Assuming that the friction doesn't.
They'll figure
change.
that
You
out.
just need
though.
wider
I mean,
tires. It's not a big deal.
wider tires. You just put some sand in
Well,
it.
it shouldn't. It really shouldn't be because 90% of the roadway stuff isn't changing. It's just the 10% that's oil based. Because 10% of asphalt and stuff is bitumen, and that's the petroleum oil based stuff, and then that's just getting replaced by this plastic.
But that
The 90% of the other stuff is still the same.
that bitumen might be a major component in what creates traction between you and the road.
Not the gravel,
I don't know.
I think what's
I am
happened-
not a
the
road
rock,
ex-
sand,
expert.
and limestone.
I think the problem is, in theory, it should get you better fuel economy, but like some marketing people got a
Yeah,
hold of
I'll
it.
bet it's like less than 1%.
I would imagine.
And they're like, "Ooh, look at this, and we can spin this, and we can look how much better this
Because
is."
that was my first question. I was like, well, plastic, when it gets wet, isn't going to give you the same results as asphalt. And then I realized, yeah,
It's still asphalt,
It's still
technically.
technically the same stuff. So I think it's great.
I'd like to see it work and hopefully work well, and then we could use it other places.
I think it's better than solar roadways,
I was just about to say the same
which
thing.
popped up on my Facebook memories just last week.
From how long ago, I wonder?
I think a year ago, because we talked about it on our show, and one of my coworkers thinks it's the greatest idea ever and likes to egged me on with it.
So
and then
what,
Robbie
what,
jumped
what,
in on it.
What's his theory on that being a good idea?
I think he just likes. He knows that it gets me going.
Oh, okay.
I think it's kind of like Adam's opener, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, exactly.
He knows what we mean.
It just grinds my gears, and so people like to, do that to me. Apparently, I'm very easy to wind up. I don't know.
No. No way.
I don't know.
Yeah. We don't have to go down that route. I was just curious if he
I
had
just
a
don't- I don't get
rationale
it.
for how it's a reasonable solution.
I can't see how it's going to math out. Is my issue. We
Yeah, I
can't
agree with
maintain
you.
cement, let alone solar panels.
Right. I'm just thinking like 95% of them are going to be broken.
Yeah, and then they're never going to fix them.
Yeah.
It's my issue.
You only have one season then. Road construction.
We're nearly to that point already. Are you kidding me? They barely slow down anymore.
It's true. Yeah,
So, yeah, anyway. Sorry, Robbie. What were we
I
going
was
to
going to
say?
say we can wrap this up with the last story.
I think that's it. Let's do that,
Please.
Robbie.
All right. So the last, like a couple weeks ago, The Drive came out with an article saying that Nissan wasn't concerned with Nismo anymore. And just when I thought Nissan couldn't get any stupider, they go and do something like this and totally redeem themselves.
Look at
They
that
had-
big old smile.
I know.
on
That's
his
why.
face. He's so happy.
Read.
Oh
what
no,
it's-
I did.
Read what it says
Yes,
verbatim that I
Robbie,
wrote on the notes.
Read what he wrote. on the
You didn't
docs.
read what I said
I
about
didn't.
Elon Musk above, so read what this says.
So, be still, Robbie's beating heart. Nissan to increase production of Nismo models. You gosh damn right. Right now, Nismo is coming out with about 10,000 vehicles a year, which actually is less than I thought. So it's got
That's
like,
more than I would have thought.
yeah, your GTR, your 370Z, the Juke, and now they want to ramp that up. I saw somewhere saying that in the future they want to do like 100,000
Well,
Nismo,
they have a
Nismo
Sentra
vehicles a
Nismo
year.
now.
Sentra, I think they want to go back to doing Frontier Nismos, and
Ooh.
that would be awesome.
That would be awesome.
Pre-runner, all the things.
So take that, The Drive.
The
Nismo.
drive released this article as well.
There's a rebuttal for the one that was wrong when Nissan goes, you guys want to come to our press release? We're doing a bunch of cool shit.
So what are they doing, Robbie?
That's literally it. They just announced that they plan to
It's like
ramp it up.
yeah, press thing. Like, hey, we're gonna do this.
Yep.
So they're gonna make more cars. To answer your question,
More models.
There's a potential they may make more Nismo parts available in the aftermarket.
Okay.
So that would be kind of cool. Like if you want a Nismo brake package, you could get that potentially.
Did you also see
I did.
that they are releasing like R32 parts as heritage?
Yes.
So you can buy brand new from the factory OEM replacement parts for your R32.
You know what I didn't see though, Robbie?
What?
That I'm hoping for? Like 180 and 240 parts.
That would be awesome.
That's what I'm saying.
I wouldn't buy any of it though.
I was going to say because, basically.
There might be
none of-
some things I
none of
might
it would
buy.
work.
But if you needed like
like a random OEM part. That,
yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like
Yeah.
that would be cool. Or if they had period correct 90s vintage Nismo
Oh my god.
reproduction parts.
You couldn't afford those things for sure.
If they made
JDM, bro.
brand new headlights, I could have headlights that fit in my car
See, there you go.
that aren't all cloudy.
See?
Oh man.
Think about it.
And it can't be more expensive than what they're charging right now, which is insane.
For ones that just fill up with water.
Yes.
Fake ones.
From ones from 1995, they're still $400 on eBay if they're complete.
That wouldn't have even bought a quarter of the headlight assembly for my ATT. So
Oh, Mr. Fancy Guy with the TT.
another reason I don't miss that car.
That's not JDM though.
No.
Bro.
It's EDM.
Why don't you get
Europe.
No, I think that's music. Where'd your taillights come from? Is that some JDM thing?
Not eBay.
Oh, okay.
There's some LED ones I found on
I was
eBay.
just curious. Like I said, I'm going
You've
down
been
weird
doing-
shit.
You've been doing
Way
a lot of
too much,
240
right?
SX stuff lately.
I'm just kind
Do you wanna-
of getting into JDM things.
Do you want
Like,
to
I
drive the
think it's
240
cool.
this weekend?
Well, yeah, I'd be down for that. I'm just saying, like, I'm just into JDM stuff all of a sudden.
I don't think I would even notice nor be surprised if I pulled in the driveway and he had a 240 SX parked here.
Well, if one comes out, but
It wouldn't even. It
I
wouldn't.
I mean, you
I'm not
can't
gonna
pass
stop
on a good
myself.
deal.
right?
It would be so unsurprising to me that I'm not even sure I'd notice.
I'm
it
pissed that I
happened.
didn't buy that completely stock one from Performance Auto a few months
Right.
ago. That was $3,500.
That was a steal.
It was a steal, and I think I saw it the other
Sweet.
day, and it was still stock. And I was like, "What are you doing?"
You're wasting my time.
You're wasting
bro.
my time, dude. Get some swap action, 1J it or something. Like,
No,
come on.
no,
Well, according to Jalopnik, you should
no.
1J it.
You should not.
Jalopnik
You should
doesn't
put that 3-liter 1J in there.
That was clickbait. And apparently wrong.
Very wrong.
Yep.
Just so everyone knows, we know that's wrong.
Sorry, I'm still a little upset about it.
I understand. I've
we
been
won't
upset
go,
about it
we
all
won't
day.
go any farther into that.
Just, I want to know, has anybody else noticed here recently that Jalopnik seems to be like trying to cater to the drift crowd? Like, has anybody else noticed that they're doing a lot of drift coverage? Like they're some kind of experts.
Well, they're definitely not experts, but they know what the people want. So I'll give them.
Well, that's what I think, because I was surprised at how few people follow their Facebook page.
I'm
Fuse
not
relative.
one of them.
Few is relative.
Well, yeah, but I mean, I thought they were bigger than they are, I should say. It's been a while since I've looked, but like last time I looked, they were in like the 380s,
It's probably, yeah, fair enough.
which
Close enough.
I thought they would have been closer to the mill mark, but I guess they're not as big as I thought they were.
352. What's the drive? The drive. What do they got? 558.
But like road and track, mill. Car and driver, mill. Motor Trend, mill.
Wonder why that is. Maybe Jalopnik's not as popular as. Maybe it's just because we're like real like
We're weird.
we're weird, but maybe because like the
Jalopnik is niche.
scale of car people.
Then there's
what?
Roadkill, 1.4 million.
Yeah, exactly.
And then it
Exactly.
blows it out of the way. But there's like a scale of interest in cars. You know what I mean? Like there's people that, oh yeah, I like cars are great, and they're like,
And they like Motor Trend and Car and Driver.
These are the same-
And they have subscriptions to Motor Trend and Car and Driver. And then when their son's real car guy friends comes over when I was still in high school, and they try to talk to you about car stuff, and they have an automatic drop top non-Z06 convertible Corvette in yellow and a Honda-matic motorcycle, and you just don't want to talk to those people.
those are the same people.
Those
that,
are not personal experiences, just guesses. Just guesses.
just very specific. These are the same people that come into my office and be like, man, did you see that new Camaro? And you're like,
Wait,
what?
They make a Camaro still? Didn't even know.
You're gonna have to like break it down for me. Like, what did you see?
Which one?
the
Why was it so
model?
special?
Right, exactly. Why are you bringing this up? Why are you in my office, Frank? Stuff like that.
This is not Karen anymore.
Yeah, exactly. Karen's not allowed in my office. HR told me so. But so
What did you do?
nothing. It was Adam that did it. It was Adam that did it. People are gonna think that that's serious. It's just a joke from another episode.
Well, we appreciate the few that got it.
Yeah. So there's a pantheon of people that like cars, and there's people that just kind of casually like cars, and I think all those people like Car and Driver. And
Yeah,
then
they
there's people
follow
that,
Motor Trend and Car and Driver, and they read those magazines when they're at the doctor's office.
yeah, and then there's people that kind of are a little bit more into cars, and maybe they only represent like a quarter of that group, and they follow. Those people start to follow Jalopnik. And then you get people that are weirdly obsessed with brown station wagons.
I was going to say brown station wagon, diesel station wagons with manuals.
They've got the J tattooed on their arm. You know what I mean? So you got those people too. It takes
I wasn't
all
following
kinds
that reference for a minute, but I got it now.
Yeah, it takes all. There's different kinds of car people, and I think we just get immersed with Jalopnik because they tend to be more specific about car culture, but yeah, they're not the foremost authority on drifting.
Yeah, they're making an effort to seem like they're very drift savvy
They're not.
here lately, covering Formula D and stuff like that.
And telling us what engine to put in our 240.
Robbie's not at all upset about that article.
No, because he's wrong.
He's upset because the article said that you should put an SR20 in your 240 and not a V8 is what they said, because you cannot handle Robbie. You cannot
I
handle.
personally cannot handle.
You cannot
a V8.
handle the V8, and so Robbie's not.
It was one of the few times I wanted to just comment and go, I've owned the KA24. I've owned 2 SR20s, and I've owned an LS1. There's only one option.
Well,
Trust me.
Robbie,
I haven't drifted, so what do I know?
if you can't handle a V8, what you certainly can handle is your car parked in the garage, not moving.
He has a good point, actually. Maybe that's what he was getting at.
Oh,
if your car doesn't
if you can't
move-
drive, you can't crash.
Right, exactly. Yep, I didn't think about it.
But
that
you
way.
can still be a car guy on the internet,
But yeah, his logic of
and
telling
that's what's most important.
his logic of telling you that your V8's too much power for if you're a beginner, but spending the money to swap in an SR20 for 70 more horsepower
over the
Over the
KA.
K.
over the KA is it doesn't make any sense. So the whole thing is stupid. And
Take it from a guy that did it. Doesn't make any sense.
I should rebuttal. I should finish. I should write an article about the 240 and then rebuttal it and go.
We
You
could
know
put-
what?
Do it.
This is my 240.
Write an article about why he's wrong, and we'll put it on Kinja.
And they will not share it.
That's fine.
That's not the point.
I'll have someone else
I know.
share it.
But
Maybe our
to
fan.
Adam's point, before we started the show, we're talking about it now, and we've said Jalopnik about 16 times. So
And I'll
It
bet
worked.
you more than one person pulled up Jalopnik on their Facebook to see how many people followed it and stuff
I
like
know,
that.
and
So-
probably tried to find that article.
We failed.
I know.
Whatever.
Clickbait.
We just imparted. We imparted real. I can't talk today.
Real world
Real
advice.
world knowledge to some people, and that's all there is to say about that. I think.
It's true.
Is that it for news?
Yep.
So we announced our Titan Fuel Tanks tank winner. We should have done that on Instagram. So if you are wondering if you won, you didn't because
Maybe
or
you did
actually
because
you would
could
know.
have.
You would by there's one person that knows. Well, other people may know, but there's one person that did win, and he got his tank, and we're getting him set up and all
Go
that
Josh.
stuff. So very appreciative of everything that Titan did for giving away that tank. That was pretty cool of them. Make sure to go to TitanFuelTanks.com and check out all the other things they have to offer. I saw that they released a tank for the 2017 F-Series trucks, the Super Duty ones, I believe.
What did it have? 55 gallons?
55 gallons, yep.
Yeah.
A
It's
big
huge.
fish aquarium. for fuel.
A fuel drum. Literally a fuel drum.
Yes.
Because that's what they come in. 55 gallons.
Yeah.
That's insane.
And it goes in the
It fits.
It fits in the stock location. I mean, obviously it takes up more space, but you put it you wouldn't know.
So, like back in the 80s and 90s, you used to be able to buy trucks with dual fuel tanks in them.
Hell yeah, I almost bought one.
I don't know why. I mean, I'm glad they don't, or else it would be harder for Titan's business model to work. But I wonder why they don't do that anymore.
Let me think. If there's a reason. Do you think it's because we keep putting more and more shit in trucks and there's less space for stuff?
Well, Titan found room, didn't they?
They did find room,
It's lazy engineering, is what it is.
but I think didn't we kind of talk about this before? I think people like tangible stuff more than intangible stuff. Like ooh leather and ooh navigation and ooh backup fake steering wheel reverse thingy and selling.
My neighbor has that.
I know, but selling that's probably easier for Ford to sell to your neighbor, for instance.
I watched him fail to back up just his truck into his driveway twice.
I got nothing on that. I don't know. He should just give up all that stuff. But anyway, my point was, I think it's easier as a company for Ford to say like, look at this fancy thing that we did that you can play with versus, you can go farther on a tank, which is actually a useful piece of utility for, a truck, which you're supposed to pull stuff with and do truck things with, which people don't.
But
a
if
lot
they
of the
did
time.
that, then our friends at Titan would have a lot harder times.
I understand that. But that creates a niche market for them, though, is because the people that buy trucks a lot of times don't use them as they're intended to be used, I guess, and they want fancy things. But
the more I
there
think
are
about
people
it,
that do use trucks for
the
what they're used
more I think about these Titan things, the more I think that I'm probably going to have to get myself a sidekick as soon as I get a truck.
Oh, yeah.
I really like that idea. Being able
Yeah.
to transport gas in the truck like that
safely.
without having to bring big fuel jugs, stuff like that. I really like that idea.
I don't like carrying that jerry can, but
Yeah.
what are you going to do?
Yeah.
Buy a sidekick. That's what you do.
Yep. That's how you solve that problem. So,
I think that's it.
Oh, I got.
Let's catch you guys next week. Peace out. Let's just start. Are you guys feeling good? You feeling loose?
I'm feeling like I'm going to win this
Do
episode.
you feel like you
it's not a competition, Robbie.
you feeling?
Everything we do is a competition.
Robbie,
we
would
have
you
fans
feel
that
better?
will tell us.
Do you think it would get us rolling better if we had like an opener of some kind?
Here's the
You know what
problem.
I mean?
Yes.
Here's the problem. thought that we had a water opener, and so I didn't.
I was
bother.
supposed to. It's sitting on the. It's sitting on the counter.
I got an opener.
Michael's
you know
got
what
an
I mean?
opener, if you know what I mean.
That doesn't work.
But I'll. It's still his, but I'll get it this week.
That's fine. That's fine.
And then next week he can do it if you know what I mean.
Yes.
No, because next week you're going to do it again with the water.
No, but it's your water thing. It's your.
not my water.
We'll figure it out.
Yeah.